Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to go over how to hide an option in your survey or hide a question in your survey without deleting the associated data collected with it. A problem I often see is that people sometimes want to hide options or question in their surveys and they delete the entire question or the entire option and then lose all the data associated with it. And then they have to call into support asking, hey, how do I get all this data back that I've collected? And sometimes the data has been corrupted and they can't get it back. This is a way to keep the data while also hiding the options and questions you don't want to present anymore. Now, let's hop in. So heading into this survey, what you're going to want to do is use display logic to hide these options or these questions. Now, to find display logic on a question level, you're going to click on the question, go to the far left hand side, scroll all the way down, and you should see something that says display logic under question behavior. And then once you click on display logic, you can set up the logic according to specific conditions. Like for example, if someone answers a specific question a certain way, a question will display one way or another. If someone has specific embedded data, a question will display one way or another. Or in this specific scenario, when someone has true/false turned on. In this case, if you leave true on, the question will always display. But if you change it to false, in here, the question will never display. This is what we're going to highlight today. So I'm first going to close out of that so we can take a look at what the survey looks like normally. So if we do a quick preview of this, we should see question 1, where it shows, are you coming to the party? Yes, no, maybe. Are you sure? Yes, no, maybe. So everything looks normal there. And if we head into the data analysis tab, you'll see that for question 1, we have data collected for yes, for no, and for maybe. So there should be, it looks like some of the data responses are loading in, so we'll give it a bit of time for it to load. Remove this, it's not important. Looks like similar responses are loading in. So we'll do a quick run through here. Say maybe, and then yes. Let that process. Refresh this. And then head up to the data analysis. Okay, so it looks like some of these guys just aren't coming in yet. So we'll give them a little bit more time for them to load in. But in the meantime, when we head to the survey, what we're going to do now is add display logic to the various parts of the survey to see what happens. So in this case, I'm going to add a question level display logic to the entire question to hide it. Now what I'm going to do is do true, false, and false. What this does is it permanently hides the question, but the data behind the question is still saved. Unlike what will happen when we see later when we delete the entire question and all the associated data with it goes as well. I'm going to publish this just so that it saves and then take a quick preview. Now you'll see here, it jumps right to are you sure? That first question of are you coming to the party doesn't even exist anymore. But if we head into the data and analysis tab, it does. All the data here from question 1 still exists, but it's just hidden when someone's taking the survey. Now let's try a different experiment. Now we're going to show question 1, but we're going to hide this particular option. Same idea, but now it's just on an option basis. So I'm going to publish that so that that saves. Take a quick preview. And then you'll see here, instead of yes, no, and maybe, it's just yes and no. But the maybes in the data analysis tab, that data is still there. Now the final thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this display logic and then remove the option entirely. This is the mistake a lot of people make when they're trying to remove an option from a survey that causes them a huge headache down the line. So I'm going to remove this, republish the survey, take one more preview to see what that looks like, and you'll see just as before, there's yes, there's no, and that maybe option is gone. I'll fill this out really quickly, but there will be a huge change in the data analysis tab with what happens to the data. So now let's head back in here. It'll take a little bit for the data analysis tab to update, to adopt this recent change, but all these choices which were maybe before have now been recoded to the number 3, and that maybe option is gone. It's been corrupted. This is the main reason why we recommend hiding options and hiding questions instead of simply removing them, because that corrupts the data behind the scenes, and sometimes the data can be completely lost from this point forward. So instead of simply deleting the choice and deleting the question, it's always best to use display logic to hide them so that moving forward, people don't see the option, but you still get to keep the data behind it. I hope that clarifies things. If you guys do have any additional questions or concerns, I'm always happy to answer it in the comment section below. Just feel free to leave a comment asking me to explain anything or ask me to cover a different topic, and I'll be happy to do so.